Have you ever walked into your parents' or grandparents' home and wondered, do they really think I want all this stuff? You know what I'm talking about. Shelves lined with porcelain figurines, old furniture, boxes of holiday decorations from the 80s. It seems like baby boomers are holding onto their possessions like gold, convinced we'll want them someday. But here's the thing, we don't. Let's talk about it. Now, before we dive too deep, it's important to understand why boomers are holding on to all this stuff in the first place. For many, they grew up in an era where things had longevity, where furniture was built to last, where heirlooms were passed down for generations. Their worldview is rooted in the idea that things matter, a lot, and in many cases, their stuff is valuable to them. But here's where the disconnect happens. They assume it's valuable to us too. So let's start with a classic example, antique furniture. Now, to a baby boomer, that oak dining room table with the carved legs might have been a major investment back in the day. They picture their kids gathering around it, continuing family traditions. But if we're honest, most millennials and Gen Z are leaning towards minimalist designs, IKEA hacks, or even opting for smaller, more flexible spaces where a bulky antique table is more of a burden than a blessing. Next on the list, fine china and silverware. Your parents probably have a set of fine china stashed away in a cabinet somewhere, used maybe once a year if that. To them, it's an elegant tradition, a mark of status. But for the next generation, we're more interested in casual, easy-to-clean dinnerware that you can toss in the dishwasher. No one wants to spend hours polishing silver or hand-washing dishes that were only used to hold a slice of cake. Then there are the collections. Oh boy, the collections. Whether it's stamps, Beanie Babies, Hummel figurines, or even baseball cards, baby boomers often spent decades accumulating things they believed would not only hold sentimental value, but also appreciate over time. The reality? Many of these collections are worth far less than they think, both financially and sentimentally. Most of us don't have the same emotional connection to those things, or we just don't have the space or desire to display them. Let's not forget about the photo albums. Now, this one's tricky because family memories are important. But when it comes to boxes upon boxes of printed photos, most of us would prefer to have those scanned and digitized. We want the memories, sure, but we don't want to haul around a dozen dusty albums that are slowly deteriorating in the basement. And here's one that really gets people talking: holiday decorations. Baby boomers tend to have entire boxes dedicated to Christmas ornaments, wreaths, lights, and those little village sets. While we all love the holidays, the newer generations are typically more selective about decorating. We're not filling every corner of the house with garland and tinsel. So why are we inheriting enough holiday decor to outfit a department store? Now don't get me wrong. It's not that we don't appreciate the thought behind all these things. For boomers, these items represent memories, milestones, and years of hard work. They want to pass something on that signifies their legacy. But here's the harsh truth. We don't want their legacy. We want to build our own. And sometimes that means letting go of the stuff that came before us. Let me tell you a quick story about a friend of mine. Her parents had a house filled to the brim with stuff they'd been holding on to for decades. Vintage furniture, ornate lamps, even an old piano. As her parents were downsizing, they were so excited to pass these things on to her. But my friend, who lived in a small modern apartment in the city, had nowhere to put it. She ended up having to rent a storage unit just to keep the peace. And you know what? It's been 3 years, and she hasn't looked at a single item since. This happens more often than you think, so much so that there's even a term for it: Swedish death cleaning, a concept that encourages people to declutter their homes before they pass away so that their loved ones aren't stuck dealing with it later. It's practical, and it makes you think about what truly matters. So, if you're a boomer watching this, or if you're the child of one, here's something to consider. Maybe it's time to have an honest conversation. Ask yourself, is it fair to expect the next generation to take on the responsibility of your things? Would they even want? On the flip side, for those of us receiving this stuff, it's okay to say no. In fact, it's healthier for everyone involved. Politely, of course. But it's important to communicate that our values, our lifestyles, are different. We value experiences over things, simplicity over excess. And that doesn't mean we don't care, it just means we care in different ways. At the end of the day, the legacy we inherit from our parents isn't about the physical stuff. It's about the memories, the lessons, and the values they passed on. The rest? Well, sometimes it's just clutter. As always, thank you for watching. If you've been through this kind of experience, or maybe you're gearing up to have the talk with your parents about their things, leave a comment below and let's discuss. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe for more content, and I'll see you on the next one.